The engineers of the Cerritos are forced to unwind while the crew compete for new digs in Star Trek Lower Decks' 3rd season 4th episode, Room for Growth. Before I go any further, please note this review may contain spoilers, so if you've not yet seen Lower Decks or its latest episode, this might not be the video for you. Let's warp into this. Reeling in the aftermath of an encounter with an ancient alien artifact, Captain Freeman mandates leave for her stressed and exhausted engineering team. But upon arrival at their luxurious spaceship destination, the captain finds herself increasingly frustrated with her workaholic crew. Meanwhile, back on the Cerritos, Mariner, Tendi and Boimler clash with their Delta Shift counterparts as the rival crews compete to win new quarters on the ship's coveted Deck 1. Room for Growth is a mostly fine episode, an improvement over last week's below par installment, but one that still pales in comparison to the show's gold or even silver standard. It's another mid-episode in what has been a noticeably slow start to the show's 3rd season. Perhaps in answer to critics worried the show's stakes were beginning to escalate to unrealistic levels, what we got here was a welcome throwback to the low-stakes adventures that defined TNG's most comfortable episodes, although it did feel a little too Season 7 at times, with references to infamous episodes Mask with the D'Arce archive, as well as Genesis with Ransom sharing an off-screen devolution experience with his famous Enterprise counterpart. Mariner, Tendi and Boimler's exploits this week featured a fun trek through the depths of the Cerritos, giving us a rare look at some of the ship's lesser seen areas, as well as the use of long-established technology such as the deflector dish, which was responsible for delivering, for me anyway, one of the episode's rare chuckles. Sandwiched in between all of this was the return of the show's best pairing of Shax and Ta'ana, whose noirish holodeck adventure felt like a mishmash of Dixon Hill and Bonnie and Clyde, with First Contact's lack of safety protocols thrown in for good measure.
I think you got him!
An enjoyable sequence, although Tiana's lines, as much as I personally enjoyed them, felt a bit edgy and at odds with the show's established nerfed adult comedy shtick. In sharp contrast to the moody and desaturated colours of the holodeck, the gang later enter a drug-induced state, another chance the episode took to showcase its grossly underrated visuals. Again, certain elements of the content may divide viewers, but taken visually, it was a fun excuse for the animators to flex, feeling influenced by the trippy visuals of Rick and Jerry's time bend from Rick and Morty's 3rd season episode, The Whirly-Durly Conspiracy, as well as practically everything seen in the gleefully unhinged Smiling Friends. While all this was satisfying visually, the actual story component did feel secondary to these set pieces, something the episode seemed aware of with repeated reminders of Delta Shift and the race for the temporal MacGuffin. These timely reminders turned out to be quite important, as I did find myself distracted by these moments to the point that I was forgetting why these characters were in these situations in the first place. Probably a sign that the story wasn't that strong to begin with. The episode's other plot, with Freeman and the engineers, played out a bit more conventionally, coming across like an extension, thematically and literally, of TNG's 5th season episode, Cost of Living, although the concept here, essentially consisting of a single repeating gag, did feel a little thinner compared to the content of previous episodes. There was some good stuff here, the workaholic nature of Billups and his team being a send-up of Trek's constantly overtaxed and burdened engineers. A bunch of Geordie LaForges, as Freeman bluntly puts it in the episode's mandated, on-the-nose TNG reference. The Dove's commanding officer marked the return of the Adosians in an appearance that was a welcome sight, a nice callback to Lieutenant Arix, a character originally designed to take advantage of the classic animated series' ability to more easily depict aliens radically different from the human form. All in all, the episode is fine. I'm not trying to be flippant with this assessment, I just don't really have much more to say about it. 2 inconsequential plots containing skits and sequences just about held together by a central narrative. Much like the episode's title, there was probably room for growth here, with both plots feeling like bees in need of pairing with something a bit more substantial. On the other hand, however, this kind of undemanding and ultimately forgettable Star Trek is perfect as that kind of comforting background filler, the warming chicken soup of Trek, as I like to refer to it. It's perfectly okay, and that's all it needs to be. I'm giving Room for Growth 3 stars out of 5. But what did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below, and please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this coming soon. Until next time, I'm the TrekLad. Live long and prosper.